Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you will receive alerts when there are new episodes. Go get it.
That's what I tell 'em. Look, I've been grinding for so long, I wake up and chase my goals. I go out and I go get it. Hot or cold, that's all I know. I don't succeed, then I don't breathe. Success, what does it mean? If I conquer all my goals, then I'm living out my dream. Dig deep, go out and get it. Success Chronicles, compete until it's finished. Success Chronicles, go take care of your business. Success Chronicles, it's deeper than just winning. Success Chronicles.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Chip Baker coming to you with another episode of the Success Chronicles, and I'm really excited to have Miss Cara Malone on with us. An awesome lady that's been doing some amazing things in education for a while now, making a positive difference, and so grateful to have her on. So first, thanks so much for taking the time to interview with the Success Chronicles.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the invitation.
Yes, yes, yes. I've been excited to get you on and just to dive into your journey and hear some of those gems that you have that's been helping you throughout your life. So let's dive into it. If you don't mind, just kind of share with the audience, a little bit about your journey and kind of your path a little bit so they have an idea of who you are and what it is you do.
Absolutely. So I've been in education. I believe this is my 32nd year, and sometimes I may not be counting correctly. I have really had the privilege of serving in a lot of roles. But I grew up in a very provincial area in North Texas, and when I went to college, I really wasn't sure what I wanted to do, and my mother was a teacher, an elementary teacher, and at some point I found myself in the education department and education building, and I decided to be a secondary teacher. That was probably my rebellion. Mom was elementary, I went secondary, but I found a place. I loved English, I loved kids. I kind of brought everything together. And I graduated at the age of 21, started my first teaching job at 21. And I'm going to say it was tough. It was hard. And somebody had asked me to reflect on this not too long ago. And I had really forgotten that at the end of those first few years, I really thought about walking away. My husband and I had moved to South Dakota, so I haven't always been in Texas, and I had not planned to work. It was the first time in our marriage that I could sit back and stay home with the kids, and that was my plan. And then it was awfully cold in South Dakota, and before long, I found myself working part-time in a teaching role, and by that point I had about 5 years of experience, and it was much easier. It was much easier then, and something just clicked, and I think that was I had developed some efficacy, and so I stayed in that role for about 11 years and loved every bit of the classroom, and I also coached public speaking and did a little bit of theater, and but there was something that I remembered from my very first day of work and my very first day of teaching at the age of 21. I saw an assistant principal leading professional development, and I said that day that was what I wanted to be. And so I found myself years later, after that I had twins, so I have 4 kids. I found myself without a master's degree, and I went back to what I had originally said, that I wanted to be an administrator. And not long after that, my husband and I moved back to Texas, and I jumped into a master's program. And from there, I've been an instructional coach, an assistant principal, a principal, a director of instruction. I moved into an executive director role that ended up as an assistant soup role. Somewhere along the road, I picked up human resources. realizing that if you don't hire well, it's not going to matter what you do in the classroom. And so tying both of those together. And then I spent some time in New Mexico as a deputy superintendent, came back to Texas and gradually made my way into Hutto as assistant super of human resources. And I've since moved into chief of schools. So that's the overall journey, but journeys also come with some hiccups along the way. And there's been some major influences in my life that I think helped me to love what I do, to believe in what I do, and truly want to make a difference. And some of those things are things I've discovered over the years. I've discovered that not every student should just be told you have to go to college, that there's so many pathways for kids. And when we don't see all those pathways for kids, we are doing a disservice to children. And I've learned that everything we have to do is to be really intentional because our kids deserve that. But I've learned those lessons partly through some tragedies. And so sometimes I think life is how you make lemonade out of those lemons. And, one of the things I don't talk about a lot is what brought me to this area was actually the loss of one of my children. And so when you lose that, you really realize just how valuable every child is. And so you try to make every day the very best day you can for kids at whatever position you're in. And that is what keeps me going. So
That's so good. Thank you so much for sharing your journey uh, and the things that keep you going, and some of the things that you've learned along that journey is so many. Um, it's so many deep things that I think that I can pull from what you talked about as far as, first off, being a young teacher and understanding, man, this is hard. This is really hard. Uh, but then, having people around you and having someone that you can look up to, the administrator, like you said, like, man, that's really cool. Right. Then to see, there's people that can show you, how to do things, and they are passionate about what they do, right? Which inspires you. And then I think the next thing that I really loved is, just the ability to continue to have growth, right? Like, those things don't happen. As far as you talked about the list of positions and titles you've had, along the way, like those things don't just happen.
there's a learning curve with every one
Oh
of those
my
positions, right?
gosh. Huge. And I'll just say, like I don't know, like I wasn't around when you did all that, but I'm just gonna say, just based off of that, I think you're pretty resilient.
Yeah, I would say that's a good descriptor. And I think you have to be to stay in this profession. And that whole piece about growth, I probably have more questions today than I did 10 years ago or 10 years before that.
Yeah.
And just, you have to fill your own bucket. I'm a reader. I'm constantly reading and going places to visit and different things to add to my toolbox. And I don't think you ever get to where your toolbox is so full that you can't add to it. And you better not stop learning because you're in the business of learning. So you better be on your toes and trying to make sure you learn.
Yeah, and the beauty of it now is, if your toolbox gets too full, you can get you a bigger toolbox.
Get a bigger toolbox. So yeah, absolutely.
Let's go.
Absolutely. Mine might be pretty big, but there's still some room. So
I love it. I love it. Well, what are three things you've accomplished in your life that you're proud of?
So, I'm very proud of my kids.
Mhm.
I've been fortunate to parent four kids. Two of those were twins, and that is probably my greatest accomplishment in life. That and the fact that my husband still puts up with me after a lot of years. So that's a huge piece, right? And it's hard to balance. It's hard to balance that piece along with your profession. I'm also proud of the roles that I've been in. I'm proud of that personal success. I aspired to be a principal. I don't know that I ever saw myself as anything above that, and I've been very blessed to have the opportunities that I've had to just expand that influence. I'm very proud of that. I'm proud that I've been able to stay in this profession. And it's still hard, right? As hard as a teacher, it's still hard in administration. You're making so many decisions every day, but you also are leading people. And somebody told me once that it's not the people you're directly leading right now, but it's that next generation of leaders that those people will inspire, that's when you know you're successful. And, I've been in the profession long enough that now people reach out. Maybe it was a student that I had in school or somebody that as an instructional coach, I helped in that first year of teaching. But people begin to reach out and you begin to see some fruits of your work. And it's really awesome to know that over the course of a career, you have had impact on a lot of people. And for some, you've helped make their journey just a little bit easier. That's something I think to be very proud of. And I definitely am. And then the third thing is something that I've been a part of just for a little over a year. And that is being the first district in the Central Texas area to start a Department of Labor registered teacher apprenticeship. And I have to say, of all the things I've done, this is by far the most wonderful thing. What we do in our teacher apprenticeship is we are actually bringing people into the teaching profession. I don't know very many things right now that are bringing people into the teaching profession, but we have 67 teacher apprentices right now, and they are employed by us. They are working under the direction of a certified teacher in the classroom. They are learning every month strategies to truly become a teacher, and we're paying for their education. And I will tell you that those 67 apprentices have the most positive attitude you have ever seen. They know where they're going. They know what they're going to do tomorrow, and they're excited about becoming a teacher. And what all of that brings back to me is, one, the narrative is wrong. There are people who want to go into the teaching profession, a profession that I love and that others love too. And also, and here's the biggest thing that I've learned in all of it, is that there are people who want to be teachers who have not had the opportunity to become a teacher. And we have to change what's happening so more people have that opportunity. And I just think it's been awesome to be able to share in this work, to see that you can make a difference. And to not sit out there and just wait for people to come to you to hire in your schools, but to go out and find people in your area and say, we've got something for you because you've already shown us that you love kids. And I'm incredibly proud of that.
That is awesome. I love that. Just pouring into teaching them the way. That's so good.
Yeah.
That's so good. Well, just hearing you talk about your journey and the three amazing things that you're proud of, I would consider that to be hugely successful. So let's hit on success. What is your definition of success?
So one of the things I think about success is being able to live with yourself as a human being. I always judge how I have done in a particular day by how well I can sleep at night. And I always know that if I can't sleep, that there's probably something I need to take care of the next day. And so, success part of it is knowing that you as a human being have made choices that are justifiable and that have offered people grace and are the very best choices you can make. And then I also think success is just making a difference in a person, one individual at a time, and helping someone to be a little bit better, or helping someone to be inspired to make a difference. And you know, there's a lot of things you do where you don't get to see the success, but when you truly see someone who has benefited from your conversation, or something that you've done, or just showing that you cared, that is true success. Success is not big. It's not something that you see out there on the billboards. It's something you feel in your heart when you know that you did the right thing, and you know that you truly cared about somebody enough to take the time to invest in them, whether it's an adult or whether it's a student. What more success could you want in life but to give to others so that they're able to give to someone else?
Oh, good. Well, as we close, I'd love for you to get an opportunity to share with the audience, where they can go, follow you, check you out, and show you some love with all of the amazing things you have going on.
Absolutely. Well, my LinkedIn is Cara Malone, EDD, and my X is Cara Malone at Malone Cara.
Cara Malone at Malone Cara. All righty. Well, again, I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time to interview with the Success Chronicles. Truly appreciate it, and I wish you continued success.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity to chat with you today.
All right. And thank you guys for checking out this episode. We'll see you next time. God bless.
Go get it.